$20. That's what Princess now charges just to mail you the little medallion device before your cruise, doubled this year from 10. And I open with that odd little number on purpose because it captures something a lot of us over 60 are feeling about Princess in 2026. This was, for decades, the gentle, refined line that so many seniors adored. It still has beautiful ships and a devoted following, and I want to be clear, I'm not writing it off. But a series of small changes this year has a lot of loyal, long-time Princess cruisers quietly looking around, and that shipping fee for a gadget you didn't ask for is the perfect small symbol of the larger shift. So let me lay out honestly what's driving it, and then the 3 lines those cruisers are moving to. Let me be measured about this, because Princess deserves fairness. None of what I'm about to say makes it a bad line. These are shifts in direction, and whether they bother you depends entirely on the kind of cruiser you are. And I do have to name what Princess still does beautifully, because it's a lot. The itineraries are among the best in the business, Alaska in particular, where Princess has decades of expertise, and land tours that few can match. The ships are genuinely lovely, the crew are gracious, and for the cruiser who has embraced the medallion, the convenience really is remarkable. So please understand, I'm not burying an old friend here. I'm telling you honestly what's changed, and for whom it matters, so you can decide clearly. Some of you will read everything I'm about to say and think, none of that bothers me a bit. And if so, wonderful, stay and enjoy. This is for the growing number of you who felt something shift and couldn't quite put your finger on why. Stay with me and keep a pen handy, because I'll take you through what's changed and then exactly where seniors are going instead, and who each of those 3 lines is really for. Take a picture of the screen at the end, and you'll have them all. And if you're new here, I'm Margaret, your cruise companion, and I make these for those of us sailing after 60 who want a clear-eyed look at where the value really is now. Let's begin with the thing people mention first, the technology. Princess built its whole modern experience around the medallion, that little wearable device that unlocks your door, orders your drinks, tracks your family, pays for everything, and for tech-comfortable travelers, it's genuinely clever. But here is the honest truth I hear from so many in our age group. A good number of us did not come to a cruise to wear a tracker and tap a screen for everything. We came for a human being to greet us, a key in our hand, a simpler way of moving through the day. When the whole ship is built around an app, and you're someone who'd rather not live on your phone, it can start to feel less like a holiday and more like homework. That's not everyone, but it's a real and growing feeling among older cruisers, and it's the first thing they name. Let me be fair to the medallion for a moment, because it does some genuinely clever things. You can order a drink to wherever you're sitting and it finds you. You can locate your travel companion across a huge ship. Your door unlocks as you approach. For a comfortable smartphone user, that's magic. But here's the honest rub for our generation. When a system is that woven into everything, the days you fumble with it, and there are days, feel like a small defeat on your own vacation. A dead phone battery, a spotty signal, a screen you're squinting at, a grandchild who has to come sort it out for you. Some of us simply don't want our holiday to depend on a gadget working. We want to hand a card to a smiling person and be looked after. And a line that's bet its whole future on the app can feel, to that kind of cruiser, like it's quietly stopped being built for them. The second driver is the same quiet money creep we're seeing everywhere. And Princess has had its share this year. They raised the daily gratuity in the spring, the first increase since 2024, to $18 a person for a standard room and more for the suites. They pushed the service charge on drinks and dining from 18% up to 20%, and they doubled that medallion shipping fee I opened with. Each is small. Together, they're the sound of a line that was once about relaxed value, asking you for a little more at every turn. And there's a particular sting for the truly loyal. the ones with a wall of cruise medallions and years in the captain's circle, Princess's Loyalty Club. When you've been faithful to a line for decades, you notice every little erosion the most, because you remember exactly how it used to be. You remember when the gratuity was lower, when the shipping was free, when the service charge was a touch gentler. Newcomers don't feel the change. You do, keenly, and that's often what stirs a longtime loyalist to finally look around. Not because any one change is unbearable, but because the direction is unmistakable, and you've watched the whole arc of it. And the third thing is subtler, about direction. Princess has been building bigger, grander ships and adding tiered, exclusive zones, like the new Sanctuary collection, a ship within a ship of private restaurants and sun decks for those who pay the premium. Now that's lovely if you're in it, but for the ordinary cruiser who isn't, a ship increasingly divided into the premium haves and the everyone else can quietly change the feeling of the whole thing. The intimate, egalitarian princess that many seniors fell in love with is, in their words, harder to find on the newest, largest ships. And I want to be honest about what bothers people here, because it's a feeling more than a fact. When part of a ship is roped off for those who paid the premium, the rest of us are still having a perfectly nice time, but there's a subtle new sense of being in the ordinary section. For a line that many of us loved precisely because it felt classless and welcoming, where everyone shared the same lovely spaces, that quiet division can take a little of the warmth out of it. It's not that the Sanctuary collection is wrong, it's that it changes the character of the thing, and character is exactly what made people loyal in the first place. So where are they going? These three, and they lean toward refinement, not flash. The first line drawing them away is Cunard. And if what you miss is genuine, timeless elegance, this is the one. Cunard is the grand old British line, the ocean liners, and it offers something almost no one else does anymore, a real sense of occasion. Proper formal nights that people actually dress for, ballroom dancing with a live orchestra, and gentlemen hosts to partner those traveling alone. Afternoon tea served properly, white gloves and all. Enrichment lectures worthy of a university. For the senior who found Princess drifting toward gadgets and gimmicks and wants instead to step back into gracious, unhurried tradition, Cunard is a world apart, and a beloved one. Let me tell you who truly belongs on Cunard, because it isn't for everyone. If you love the idea of dressing for dinner, of a real occasion, of dancing to a live orchestra under a chandelier, you will feel like you've come home. If you find joy in a lecture from a retired diplomat or a famous author, in a proper library, in the ritual of afternoon tea each day, Cunard treasures exactly those things that the rest of the industry has been quietly abandoning. It's also, and this matters for many of us, one of the great ways to cross the Atlantic without flying, a stately week at sea instead of a cramped airplane. It is not casual, and it is not cheap, and if you'd rather be in shorts by a pool, that's fine, and Cunard isn't your ship. But for the senior who mourns a more elegant age of travel, nothing else quite compares. And I'll tell you a small thing that moves people about Cunard, beyond all the grandeur. It is one of the few places left that still treats the solo older traveler with real grace. The gentlemen hosts I mentioned aren't a gimmick. They're there so a widow or a woman traveling alone has a partner for the dance floor and a kind companion at dinner, should she want one. For so many of us who've lost a spouse and worried that cruising alone might feel lonely, that thoughtfulness is deeply touching. Cunard remembers a kind of hospitality the rest of the world has largely forgotten, and for the right person, stepping aboard feels less like a cruise and more like being genuinely, warmly looked after in a way that's become rare. The second line they're choosing is Oceania, and this one is for the palate. Oceania's whole promise is the finest cuisine at sea, and it delivers. The food is the reason people sail it and the reason they return. The ships are mid-sized and intimate, exactly the scale Princess is moving away from, with no crowds, no lines, and a refined country club casual feel. It draws a well-traveled, mature crowd who care about the food, the destinations, and the calm, and not at all about water slides or apps. If you're leaving Princess because you want smaller, quieter, and genuinely excellent, Oceania is a joy. And here's what surprises people about a smaller ship, because so many of us were nudged toward the giant vessels and assumed bigger was better. On a mid-sized ship like Oceania's, there are no endless queues, no fighting for a deck chair, no waiting 20 minutes for an elevator. You learn the ship in an afternoon. The crew, with fewer guests to tend, actually know you by the second day. And because the whole thing is built around the dining, there's no relentless upselling, no gauntlet of shops and photographers and drink sellers, just calm and good food and interesting places. For the Princess cruiser worn out by scale and noise, that intimacy feels like exhaling. It's a different, gentler rhythm of cruising altogether, and once people taste it, the big ships often lose their shine for good. And a word on value, because people assume a smaller premium line must be wildly expensive. Look closely, and it's less of a leap than the sticker suggests, because Oceania folds so much into the fare that you'd have paid extra for on Princess. The specialty dining, often the gratuities, sometimes drinks and excursions depending on the offer. When you compare the true all-in cost of a week rather than the headline fare, the distance shrinks. You're not so much paying a great deal more as paying it differently and getting far better food and a calmer ship for it. For the Princess cruiser who thought this kind of sailing was out of reach, that's a genuinely pleasant surprise worth checking for yourself. And the third, coming full circle, is Holland America. I know some of you are surprised to see it, but for a certain Princess loyalist, it's the most natural move of all, because the two lines share that classic mid-size grown-up character. What Holland America offers the Princess refugee specifically is the human, unplugged experience. No medallion, no tracker, just gracious, old-fashioned service. Extraordinary live music every night, and enrichment that treats you like a thinking adult. It's Princess as Princess used to feel before the app. For many, that's exactly the homecoming they were looking for. And there's a lovely irony in it that I have to point out. The two lines have been close cousins for years, similar ships, similar itineraries, a similar grown-up feel. So the jump isn't jarring at all. It's like moving to a house on the same street you always liked. You keep everything you loved about Princess. The classic scale, the calm, the mature crowd, the wonderful ports, and you simply set down the one thing that was wearing on you, the everything through a screen. No tracker on your wrist, just a warm crew, a key, live music that's the best afloat, and a slower, kinder pace. For a great many disillusioned Princess cruisers, Holland America is less a leap and more a quiet return to the way it used to feel. So let me give you the picture, clean, and take a photo of this screen. Seniors are leaving Princess over three things: the everything-through-an-app medallion world that not all of us wanted, the steady 2026 fee creep, and the shift toward giant ships split into premium tiers. And the three lines they're choosing instead: Cunard for genuine, formal, old-world elegance, Oceania for the finest food at sea on small, calm ships, and Holland America for the classic, unplugged human experience Princess used to be. Three routes back to the refinement that drew you to cruising in the first place. And let me give you one honest, practical word about switching, because there's a real cost people forget. When you leave Princess, you leave your captain circle standing behind you. All those years of loyalty perks don't transfer. You'd be starting fresh at the bottom of a new lines program. Now, I don't say that to keep you where you are. I say it so you go in with eyes open. For many, the better fit is worth starting over for. And the higher-end lines like Cunard and Oceania give you so much from your very first sailing that the loyalty ladder matters far less anyway. But it's a real consideration, and the honest thing is to name it. Weigh what your loyalty is truly getting you now against what a better-fitting line would give you from day one. For a great many disenchanted Princess cruisers, once they do that math, the answer is clear. You know, so many of you write asking me which line truly fits the way you like to travel, because the choice has never been more confusing. I gathered the honest senior-by-senior comparison into one place. The Insider's Playbook, along with the full planner, makes up the Senior Cruise Companion Collection. It's the written version of everything we just worked through. The link is down in the description, and there's a code on your screen for those of you watching on the television. It's there if it would help, and only if you want it. But here's the heart of it. Loyalty to a cruise line is a lovely thing, and I understand it. Some of us have sailed one line for 30 years. But loyalty should be earned, freshly, on every cruise. If the line you loved has drifted away from what you value, it is not a betrayal to follow your own comfort somewhere else. The sea is wide, and the right ship for the person you are now is out there waiting. Go find it.